So this tutorial is on Microsoft Excel. In Microsoft Excel, there are cells, and every cell is defined by a number and a letter, or a letter and a number. So if I click on any cell, I can see where it is. And I can see the letter and number that it is. So if I can also make cells bigger by just selecting up here and just dragging this. You can double click on cells to write stuff in them. You can put numbers in. And you can select different styles of the cell. So changing the color, you can make custom styles. Choose any color you want, really. But yeah, and you can also change where the text is. If it's to the left, in the center, bold it. And you can also merge cells. So if I wanted to make a title, I can merge two cells together, but I'm going to do an example table and also use some basic formulas. So if I type in to my title for my table is going to be test marks, I can just make it more centered and then add some names. And I can add their marks. If I select several cells, you can select one or more cells by just left clicking and holding, and you could go to format cells and choose what format you want. So time, currency, number, text. But for this, it has to be a percentage because it's the marks, so we'll switch it to percentage. And now we can type in numbers and it's automatically a percentage. Oops. Why is it? There we go. Okay, so we have that. So now we're going to learn how to use formulas. Formulas, let's just do a basic one here. So 1 plus 3. Let's say we want to calculate 1 plus 3 and we want to have our answer here. So we need to know this cell and this cell. So we could just type the cells, but to start every formula, you press equals. And then you have to put, if you're calculating two cells, you put a bracket and then you put whatever it is, B8, sorry, B8 plus C8, and end bracket, and then it'll put the answer to that formula here, and if you change this number, it automatically changes changes the response because it's a formula. So now that we know how those work, we can create a average. Let's start with creating an average of their marks. So we go into this cell and we type average mark. That's our title. We can merge these two. Actually, let's not merge them. But we do need to wrap text. And then here we can type our formula, so we press equals. And for this, if we want to know the formula for all these, we don't have to type in B2, B3, B4. We can just go equals, and then our formula, which is average, bracket, B2, and then B2, and then one of these, and then that goes B2, and then all the way through to B4. So now we know the average of B2, B3, and B4, which is 57.3. But now we want to create an if statement, so we want to know who passes. So let's say that the if statement is if your mark is over 50%, you pass. So how we would do that is we go equals, if, and then our logical test. So it says here, every time we put a comma, it will like go to the next formula thing. So our logical test is over 50%. So you go the over symbol, 50%, and then now we're on a value of true, and then we after have to do the value of false. So in the quotation marks, value of true, pass, and then a value of false, fail. Oh, and I forgot, sorry, to actually put what. So we need B2. Yes, so if B2 is over 50%, then it's a pass, and if it's not, then it's a fail. So that's how it works. Now, for this, we don't want to have to rewrite our formula or copy it and paste it, but just change the B2 to the B3. And if you had a big spreadsheet, that would be very annoying. But a very useful feature is to just this little box in the corner, you can drag it down, and it copies the formula, but to the corresponding cells. So now we have our if statement. So it's different. It says fail here because this is 23, so it's below 50. And the final thing you can do to summarize and view all your information is you could create a table. So, or not a table, sorry, a chart. So if you go to recommended charts, it'll recommend you a chart that works for your thing, but actually this is not working with the average mark, so let's just do test marks, percentages, and passes and fails. So if we go to recommended charts, hopefully this works. Yep, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, it works. It's fine. So it's adjusted this chart for us, and if we make it bigger, we can see their it auto-generates a chart. You don't really have to put anything in, although you can change the style of the chart. So that's pretty much the basics of Microsoft Excel. And